Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Heartline with Adelai Brown. So, we always have these great conversations. And today's guest, I'm really excited to have him here. He's not new to the Heartline, but maybe new to some of our viewers. He is an entrepreneur, a community mentor, a wife, a husband, just an overall stand-up guy. I welcome you and introduce to everyone Coach Darryl Capelton. Welcome, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, I play many roles now, but I can't be a wife now. You say I'm a wife and a husband.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm thinking about your wife. I love your wife so much. Y'all,
Yeah,
please forgive me.
yeah.
He is not a wife, and that could go viral. Jesus, help us all. He is
Play
a
many roles now,
husband
but I can't
and
be that now
father. He is
under
a
no
loving
circumstances.
husband and father.
Because I can't even put up with myself like my wife put up with me. So I can't. I'm not even gonna even try to claim to be. But thank you for having me. You
Yes,
know.
yes. So we always have wonderful conversations, especially off camera. And every time we on the phone for an hour, or two, or three, or who knows how long, we always say, "Man, we should have recorded this." So today we decided to get on camera and just chat and just kind of invite you guys into the type of conversations that we have. But I also feel like these conversations are so life-giving and they help us just be better people overall. So, what's up with you today? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? What you
All
want to
right.
talk about?
And I'll let your audience know. Like I work with a lot of kids in the community. No, especially young boys. That's kind of like my specialty. I work with young men, some at risk, some not at risk, but all different, ages, background, races. Just young men. Period. God has blessed me with that ability to connect with them. But and with connecting with them, I also have to try to connect with their mothers. I'm not so gifted in that area, so I call you a lot to kind of lean on you for advice when dealing with the moms. And this is one of the questions that I had come up recently in my spirit is, why do moms, because I get this a lot, feel the need to make excuses for their sons? For example, if anytime I say, hey, anytime their son is in trouble or maybe he may do something as, you know, he wasn't supposed to do, or maybe he may don't achieve a goal he was supposed to achieve, or we would have thought he would have achieved. It seems like moms, especially when they get in trouble, I'll say that. Skip the goals part. When young men get in trouble, moms feel the need, I'm realizing, to make an excuse for them, like, oh, he was this, or oh, he had a bad day, or his daddy ain't around, or that person did something to him first, or anything except he got to take accountability for his action. That's rare in my field, where I meet a mom who really stand on business when it comes time to hold their son accountable. I don't know if it's something in mothers to make them feel like they got to, like like a protection thing, like excuse kind of equals protection, but it don't, especially when you raising a man, especially from a man point of view. And then I think about my mom. I said, I wonder, God rest her soul, she's not here, but I wonder, did she used to do that for me? Because I used to get in trouble as a kid too. I can't ask her that. And I meant to call my aunties and ask them, because my aunties was the ones who used to tell my mom about me a lot. So I didn't get a chance, and I didn't get a chance to call my aunt and say, hey, when you used to tell my mom, your son out there doing this or your son out there doing that, what was her reaction? Did she make excuse for me? Because I didn't know. In front of me, she would never do it. So maybe she did it and I didn't know about it. But to me, it felt like she held me accountable because my mom was, she used to be real stern on me in my eyes. But from another perspective, like my aunt's eyes, maybe she was thinking, no, you make excuse for that boy. But I'm just wondering, what brings that about? What brings that on? Like, why? moms do that?
Well, I think, excuse me, I was just having, okay, I had to get that straight. So what I honestly think, that's a loaded question, first of all. I mean, depending on who you talk to, I mean, do you have enough hours in the day? However, I'm gonna go with my initial response to this at this point. At this moment, I think about the role that a mother plays in a child's life versus the role that a father plays in a child's life. And we know that mothers are called to nurture, to you know, like really nurture. Mothers are called to nurture and to guide, and to like protect, and to kind of, the mother like kind of molds the child into who they are. And the father usually like gives them that identity, that confidence that helps them to see that they can do what they want to do. Now, I don't know if, I guess, so that's my initial thing that I would say. Now, your question was like, why do mothers like to make excuses or take up for their children when, like their boys, when they get in trouble? And I think that that's the natural nurturer inside of us a lot of times, that we always want to see the good in our child. We know things about our child that you don't know. We know where we dropped the ball or challenges that this child may have had that you don't know. And so when this child gets in trouble, a lot of times we're all of those things are in the forefront of, well, this is why he's acting like this. This is why we have to go through this with him. A lot of times fathers, daddies don't deal with that. Daddies
Right.
don't care what your excuse is. Like, so many times we joke and we talk about my nephew, but like we talk about how he could get over on his mom versus his dad. And his dad always used to tell his mom, you listen to that boy tell you anything and you just believe him. And then he got older and acknowledged that his daddy was right. His mama was nurturing him and he was misbehaving and he was being mischievous. And her thing was, well, she had an excuse for him, like that's her child. She knew he's a good child. She just knew, he had his challenges, right? But his daddy was like, ain't nothing wrong with him. He just need to listen. He just need to follow instructions,
Right.
right?
Right.
So which he got older and acknowledged that that was the case,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
You mean the young man got older?
yeah, when the
Right.
son got older, he said, "No, my daddy was right, mama. I was getting over on you. You was believing me. I was lying. I was not telling the truth about a lot of stuff, and you
Right.
believed me. Like you went along
Mhm.
with it. You see what I'm saying?"
How did she feel?
Uh, she just kind of laughed about it. I think I'm gonna have to ask her because how I perceived it, and she watches the show, so I'll talk to her about it. She may even come on one day. I think this will be a great mother for you to talk to as well. As far as from a mentoring standpoint of dealing with a mom, how moms perceive things. Um, I think that in her case, it was like everybody was telling her, "You too nice on this boy. You being too easy on him. He getting over on you." And when he got older and said that, she was like, "Dang, I was naive. I
Right.
was gullible. Like this boy was doing what I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a wonderful kid, but we always got in trouble back in the day and he did his share." So I'm staying on topic now because I'm hitting a couple of different things. So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in this case, you see a mother and father were present, but they were co-parenting. They weren't together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, and mothers who with their husbands do the same thing. But I think that depending on the situation that's going on with that mother and that child, and depending on how that mother feels about her own parenting skills and her ability, that is going to determine how she responds to her child getting in trouble. Like my kids knew if they got in trouble, they felt like mama going to take the other person's side first. That's how they felt because I was going to get on them. Now, I did want to know what happened. And if you, as his coach, is coming to me telling me you got to reprimand him, I have nothing to say to you except for, do we need to reinforce this more at home? You see what I'm saying? But I also trust the coach. I understand. coach's place because I've grown up around it. You know, my brothers are coaches and stuff like that. Like, so I understand that concept. But I think a lot of mothers struggle with holding their kids accountable because they struggle with being accountable. I think that a lot of mothers try to overcompensate for their children for whatever the situation may be. Like if it's a single mama, or that's even worse because she consciously or subconsciously is trying to overcompensate for whatever the situation is with the father not being in the home. And even when you're dealing with people who are married, mothers, I feel like we feel like our children are our children and we got to protect our child. And sadly, sometimes we even treat fathers, their own daddy, like that. Like, I got this, not you. Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
remember when Lil Kevin was in high school? I talked to you a couple times about him. I'm married. He's with his daddy. What you say? Just let his daddy handle it. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like if I wasn't working on myself, I would have never been able to do that. And I would have, one, probably not been holding him as accountable publicly, and then two, tearing him down all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times when mom's not holding their sons accountable, on one end, they scolding him for not knowing how to do something or not being something nobody ever taught him how to be or do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think it's a lot of factors that play in it. But that's
Right.
just that kind of came up for me. And when you mentioned talking to your aunts about how your mother responded, I think that would be a good question, because the funny thing is she's not here to give her side of the story, but think about just in a family the dynamics. Almost everybody got somebody in their family you'd be like, oh, they too easy on those kids, or they too strict on those kids, like, oh, I don't parent them like that. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they can do that in their house but we don't do that in this house, type of situation. And I think when you're a mentor, you're just dealing with that like times 100.
Right. I think when I think about my mom, I don't know, so I'm going to ask my aunts. But I think my mom been the type of mama not to make excuses, but I think she would have tell you leave me the f alone about my child. Like
Yeah.
I like for real. I just got like don't like she would have let it be known. Don't bother me about the run. I ain't like wherever he doing. Like we don't. I don't. And I'm not saying that's right now, but I just got a feeling I don't see my mama like lying or trying to be like, no, he ain't did that. Cause my mama ain't been like that with me. Like, I know you, you know what I'm saying? I know what my child to do, but that's my child. And I don't know if which way is right or wrong is wrong. And I may be biased because that's my mama way, but I think I'll rather that way. Like, I just don't like the excuses because you just teaching so much toxic negative stuff when you
Yeah.
with boys, man. And I'm trying to understand mothers so much. I'm studying my wife and I'm paying attention to my wife a little more when she parenting our sons. Like I never really look and say like, damn, I wonder what's in her mind when she doing. Cause really, I need to know it now the more moms I deal with, because I don't want to be in the field where I got to deal with certain people. I don't have the no kind of knowledge of it. That's very sickening. Like I got to know, like, and I know people say, sometimes you ain't gonna know what a woman ain't gonna know how a man think, a man ain't. But if you willing to listen and really kind of study, you can learn anything. So that's why I'm asking these questions because I really am interested in knowing like what because I know it's hard for my wife not to make excuses for my sons. I don't care. She can't lie and say it. I'm watching it. Naturally if I corrected him, I'm schooling him. You want you something in you that's like, no, it wasn't
Yeah, we
what
don't
you
want
think.
nobody. Yeah, we don't
It
want nobody
wasn't what
fussing
you
at our
think.
babies.
It's not. It wasn't what you think. No, maybe it was this or he. It's always something, and it's hard for her not to do it. So I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what is that? What is that? That why it's so hard? Why you can't just say yeah? And like I remember my mama used to say stuff like this. That's what you get. That's what I don't even hear that no more. Like that's what you behind get. You fall. That what you get. Like that right there what boys need because that used to teach me and help me. They don't get that no more. He always no, that ain't what my baby get. No, I come in to do. No, that's what you
Yeah,
get.
because I honestly feel
That's what you
like
get.
a
It
lot
did something. You did it. You do it. You get that. That's what you get when you do that.
but parents are trying to protect. I think a lot of mothers, I think it's two things playing in what you're saying. It's just the natural. I heard okay. I watched I like to watch little mini documentaries on YouTube and stuff. So I watched this documentary. Maybe it was a post on it was like a video, quick little documentary on Facebook. It was this video with this older couple. It was an older man and woman, and she was talking about how much she admired her husband and how they had like a family business and they raised four sons. And she was like, her husband told her, you stay home and take care of family. I'll work. And then she did that. And as the kids got older, she helped, manage the family business and stuff like that. And she mentioned, and I remember when she said it because it stood out to me. She said, I took care of the boys, especially when they were babies. I had them, but as they got older, they had to go off and be with their daddy. And she said, sometimes their daddy would have to get on them. And she said, I didn't like it. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like it at all. She said, I would have to go in the room sometime. She said, they come and ask me something. I always say, go ask your daddy. Anything going on, I say, go ask your daddy. She said, now, I didn't like it. But I did that because I knew that was my husband. I had to respect him, and that was their father. And if I didn't, they wouldn't respect either one of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's a natural thing for women that we want to protect our sons. I think that that's been being done. But I do think that we are in a culture now that women are so hyper masculine in the way that they show up. So it's like the natural mother in you is like, you want to nurture your child and you got to be this protector and this provider. A lot of women feel that way, right? And then, but when that child needs that um, male masculine influence, that's where the rubber hits the road, right? And then some women think that well they disciplining them just because they beat them so much. That's not the case either, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
having that respect and having that accountability. And I honestly think it is very nuanced as to what would make somebody do that, what would make somebody make up stuff for their child. I think each individual you will have to talk to find out what's driving that. But at the end of the day, it's all about being a good mother, being perceived as a good mother, their child being perceived as a good child, and what that image looks like. If you come to me and you tell me my child did something wrong, and I'm one of those people who's so concerned all the time about what people got to say, how I'm being perceived, then I'm not willing to hear the truth about my child because that's
I
going to
think
tarnish our image.
I think you hit it on the head. I think that just come to me just now. I think today's people cares too much about what other people think about them, and that makes them parent that way.
Absolutely.
So, for example, I don't think my mama could have given. I think I cared more about what people think about my mama than she did. Like I used to care when somebody catch me doing something in the street, hustling or something. My mama friends catch me hustling. I used to break me. I was like, dang it, man. I used to feel, but my mama, she may have felt, but she didn't. Let me tell you something. My mama, I remember when the first time I got arrested, right? First time I got locked up. I remember I've been hustling. I had me big Rolex chain, the Rolex chain with a big crown charm, like a king charm. I had a crown, but it been big, big, all the way down to my navel, right? I had the Rolex watch, I had the Rolex bracelet, the rings, and I had me a 92 LeSabre with the music and coming. I pull up at my mama house, boom, popping the music, turn the music down. I come in the house, my mama is sitting in the house braiding hair. I walk in the house, shining, tank top on, I'm looking real dope, boys. First thing my mama ain't say hi, nothing. I walk through the door just shining like she just the first time her seeing me with my jewels on. I walk in, mama said, she look at me, pick her head up, she breathing here, she said, you going to jail. Just like that. No, just like that now. She ain't say, "What's up, son? My son ain't selling no drugs. My son ain't doing that." She see me
Oh
shining.
gosh.
And her friend, talking about, I remember it like it been yesterday. I still walking to Audubon because I've been feeling good now.
Oh
I talking about,
goodness, you've been shining. My
and my
diamond's
mama
always
said,
shining.
my mama look, Dad had me look up, Brittany here, got some, she ain't care about her friend or nothing. You going to jail? I said, man, mama, man, you going to jail? Like you, and it, I laugh at because I had a parent say, you gotta watch what you say to these kids because you speak like. What you mean? She speaks. She know what been. Cause guess what? 6 days later. 6 days later. Boom. Door kick. I on the floor. Trafficking. Been getting followed and watched the whole time. So and my mama ain't make one excuse. She tell me before it happened. You going to jail, boy? And guess what? When I go to jail, she still had my back. She still come for me. She ain't been no bad parent. She still got, been born here like she love me. But she tell me before I'm going to jail. She tell me. But and I say that just to say like, man, you got to be real.
Accountability
You
and be
got to be
real.
real. Like that
But
don't
you
make you a
can't be
bad
real with
parent.
your kids if you're not being real with yourself,
My mama
coach.
already knew who she been as a mama. She know she ain't raised me to sell no drugs. She
Yeah.
know that. She know everything. She when my mama used to find drugs in our house. 'Cause I've been trying to be a hustler. My mama used to find drugs and throw them away, give them away, flush them down the toilet. Even till I've been a little boy, beat me, whatever. Like anything you doing bad, I try anything. But something just been in me that took me to the streets. But when they get to that point, when she saw that, I think she knew. Like I done beat him, I done did everything I could do to not get this boy to be like his daddy. But boy, he just happened won't be like that daddy. Okay, you're going to jail. Just like your daddy. You're going to jail. That don't mean I don't love you. That don't mean I ain't gonna have your back. That don't mean I ain't gonna be in this court and lie for you. My mama would have sit in court and lie for me now. I ain't gonna lie about that now. Say if the judge had said you feel like your son did this, if it up to court now, I love my mama to death, but she would have stand up and say no. But she could tell me, boy, you going to jail, boy. You doing this
Yeah.
stuff. What you think gonna happen? See, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
going to jail. So, and
Yeah.
I said, like, you just need that. We just need them parents to be more. That don't mean you a bad parent. That don't mean she didn't love me. She still had. She told me that because she loved me. She corrected me. She
No,
told me.
I don't think that's it, coach. I think a lot of parents are parenting from their hurt and their pain and their insecurity as kids. Like I think a lot of parents trying to give their kids everything they didn't have, trying to do everything for their kids that their parents didn't do, and they missing on the stuff that
Probably
they
excuses.
needed.
Probably
They,
excuses. They didn't have this. They feel like they didn't have the excuses because they were raised by parents like my mom.
exactly
So
that
they give it their
exactly,
turn excuses,
and
but
that's a
that's
good
wrong.
one. But that's wrong because let me tell you something I know. Let me tell you something I know. I've had a couple personal situations with my children that I everything you're saying, holding them accountable, all while having their back. But you getting held accountable. You know why? Because when you get out in these streets, one of my kids, um, I had to remind this child, listen, yes, I taught you to speak up for yourself and all of that, and now you're a young adult. But even that requires discretion. But that's me holding them accountable, and even as an adult. Like, yeah, you could do what you want to do, but then you can't. You get what I'm saying? You really can't just do what you want to do. I mean, there are boundaries in society. And when parents don't hold their kids accountable as kids, these are the people that got to learn through jail, that got to learn
Yeah.
through being
And when you
homeless,
don't,
got to learn through recovering from addiction because
yeah.
they never had to go through nothing.
And when you don't hold them accountable, and you make excuses for them, I'm gonna hit y'all with this hard one right there. This your son start to think you slow. I'm being real with you now.
Oh,
I'm being
absolutely.
real with you now, and
But
you
that's what
don't
I
want
was
nobody to
telling
think
you
you slow.
earlier. Your child, well, you said think you slow, but that your child saying, I know I can get over on my mama
That's why I trying to
because,
say you slow.
yes,
You being slow.
yes.
So when my mama tell me I've been going to jail and I end up going to jail, I know my mama been real and sharp. I said, boy,
And
my
you
mama
knew
had
how
told
sharp
me,
she
boy.
was.
My
Yeah.
mama had no. Yeah,
And
guess what? I
sharp.
start listening to her even more. Guess
Yeah.
what? I ain't going back to. I start paying attention to my mama words even more because she been real and held me like, boy, you. Oh, I start saying, boy,
And
my mama
held
know.
you
Boy,
accountable.
my mama know for real, boy. So I
Okay.
start listening to. But when you think your mama slow, you ain't even gonna get no advice from her. I being real.
Yeah.
You almost you.
You right. You don't
Boy,
trust
you
her.
almost letting.
You don't trust her. No,
Boy,
this is how you send your kids to the streets because this what happened. When you're hitting the nail on the head. When your kids don't think that you know what's going on, this is how outside influence gets your children. Because now if I was scared of Susan. Susan could have rolled on me at any time, and I've been being bad. But I had a. I'll tell you one thing. If my mama had ever remember when you go to illusions and it used to be like your mommy outside, I've been like, boy, listen. If my mama ever had to come for me, I got to hide and get to her. I can't let her get up on me. I already knew what time it was because she had put the fear of God in me. My kids are like that too. I might go through things with my kids. We understand this mutual respect. But I'm gonna tell you this. My son told me this one time. He had a little girlfriend, and I didn't like the girl. This is the first little girl he bring around, and I know I told you this story when it happened, but it was a long time ago. And this speaks to holding people accountable. Cause see, you talk about getting in trouble, and I get that, but boys get in a lot of trouble with girls, and growing up the way that I did, and I saw so many guys get in trouble with girls being manipulative and stuff like that, I raised my child to be like, look, you gotta be accountable. No really means no. Like, we really
right,
gotta have these conversations because a lot of mamas ain't having these conversations with their son. How
right,
girls could change their mind in the heat of the moment. You gotta be
right,
aware of all of these things because that's all
right.
the
Yeah,
accountability piece, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
we see the little girl. Ain't nothing wrong with I mean, these are all little kids. I mean, they like 13, 14, 15. But man, as soon as I saw her, I couldn't even help it. It was just like, I'm sure your wife got this as well. It's like, look, when that mood change and you know she ain't feeling that person, she ain't feeling that person. And we
Right.
trying to get her away from this person at this point because she might embarrass all of us at this point. So they told me I was overreacting. I was overreacting. That was ninth grade. Right before he graduated, we had a conversation. And he said, you know what, mama, for real though, I start paying attention to everybody you don't like. Cause I realize you really do get along with people and you a cool person. So when I notice you don't like somebody or something, you just ain't clicking with them, he
Right.
say, I have to watch that person. Cause it's something
Right.
about this person that I need to watch if my mama ain't settled. And he said, you know that girl? He said, daddy them tease you. He said, but she ended up not being right for real.
Right.
So he
Right.
was like, I'm glad you act like that. Because if you didn't, I would have went along with it.
Right.
Who knows what could have been going on in ninth grade? And this is a perfect example. But these little boys and their mama, oh, that's just his little girlfriend. This little girl might not be right. You know, you're not going to the movies. We're not doing that. And you ain't passing. So no, you can't go to back to accountability. And you ain't passing. So why you got your phone? You ain't passing. Why you still getting Roblox bucks and all this stuff? Why are we still doing this?
Right.
So
Right.
no, you're right. Like I think that but I also think that the position that when I can I guess my question to you is what how do the children respond when this happens? When a situation so is it like you may go to the mom and say, "Hey, we have an issue with your child. This is what we did to deal with it, or this is what we got in mind." And then it's like
I
she like,
just
"He don't do that," or he how does it go?
It's just I don't know, man. Mama's got all kind of strategies for excuses, man. I'm talking about that.
Don't do us
I,
like that,
I
man.
telling you, I being real.
I
I tell
think
you
now that I
from
do
a
that's
daddy
why I said,
standpoint, man. I just gotta
yeah.
be real and tell you, for we some of us ain't right with stuff too. And I ain't perfect, and I ain't right some and my ways
No,
sometimes.
I
But I
get
just
that.
being real. Y'all got all, and you gotta think about it now. My program got 200 and something families in it, so I deal with
Yeah.
different kinds of moms, dad, all the time. So I got a very like a bunch of different perspectives. That's why I say like it's a bunch of different ways a million and one ways to make an excuse for a boy. Like it's like I've
Got you.
heard it
And
all.
then you talking about, and then now I need you to understand this dynamic too. It's a lot of things at play. Like we literally could have 7 different topics just with this question. Cause you say it's literally limitless with mamas and boys.
What?
So
They got
so the flip
strategy
is the
after
same
strategy.
with daddies and daughters though.
Yeah, we
So
might can have that
we
conversation
could
one day
get
too. But
that,
I ain't
but
talking
see,
about that.
you a daddy. See, and that's my point. But I need you to hear that though, because
No, for real.
the
Oh
same thing
Lord.
that make you be soft on your
Yeah,
daughters. I
that's what
want
one
you
of my
to.
mom. Hey, listen,
You see
I
what
laughed
I'm saying?
because one of my moms tell me that. You said, listen, the same thing. Okay, well, I feel like I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna tell you like I tell her.
Okay.
It's not the same. How can it be
How?
the same? I'm raising a daughter. You raising a man. How could that be the same? She gotta. Like how? I just can't see how
Okay. Okay.
being
Hold up. I
soft.
want to understand what you're saying. So what you're saying is you feel like you could be soft on your daughter because this is a girl and I'm raising a woman and that's how she needs to be. But when you talk about a man, he need to be accountable. He need to be strong. So you can't do that. So daughters don't need to be accountable.
No, I'm not. So it's not all the way to the extreme. Like they don't need to be accountable, but it's different. It's
Okay.
different. It's not the same, man. I mean, it's my accountability is not the same as my wife's. You know what I mean?
Yes, correct.
My the stuff on my shoulder is not the same as my wife one. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I have to be Mike is different. It's not the same accountable because my wife still got to be accountable because she got to make sure we straight as a family in her way. But my one for me, and maybe that's just how men feel, but it's like you got to stand up a little different, man. You know what I mean? I'm a jump in front of the bullet for you, for my wife and my family. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I'm gonna die. Y'all gonna live on my insurance money. That's planned. Like if something happened, I could jump in front of that bullet going knowing that y'all. But
Yeah.
for me to have that attitude and have that in me, my mom had to put some accountability in me, or I'm gonna run behind my wife and let her die. That's how I feel. So, and I don't want my daughter to think that she gonna jump in front of her husband bullet either. That's for me to do. That's just as a man, and I'm using that analogy, but not, and you know what I mean though.
No, I get what you're
Like
saying.
that's how we are. That's how we supposed to be. That's the dynamic of how it is. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the man, we men. You got to stand up. You got to be able to look people in the eye. Your yeah is your yeah, your nay is your nay. You stand up strong. Your word is your word. Like you stand up. If somebody wrong, you stand up. Hey, that ain't right. You ain't playing with me and my family like that. Whatever, whatever. Not I ain't trying to weasel out this. What's up? I ain't raising my
Yeah.
daughter to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think and so I think that and that's what I'm saying. What I'm hearing honestly is like two different things going on here.
Well,
You
let me say
have
this
this
too. This last one. I'm
okay.
raising my daughter to be for me how I'm a little softer on her because I want her to be a woman who is how her mom is. Like how her mom make me feel like when we walk out here, if somebody pull a gun, I want to dive in front of that bullet. Her mama make me feel like that. Her mom, I want my daughter to be like that. So it's a certain level of softness I feel.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm right, but I feel like I have to give her. I don't want her to be not, no, but my daughter ain't no pushover. You know my daughter. She ain't no pushover. You
Mhm.
know, like, but I'm letting her know, like, your daddy big and bad and strong, but when it comes to you, baby,
Yeah.
your daddy is soft for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm big and bad and strong. You see me in action.
Ooh,
But
that's okay.
for
That's a
you,
okay. You helped me with this. Thank you. Cuz okay, so now that's why I say there's two different things going on here
okay.
because a mother teaches that to a man. What you just described that you want to teach your daughter, a
Mm-hmm.
mother is what helps a man learn that softness, that nurturing, how he should nurture and care for his mama. His daddy should be leading typically if we talking about that, right? If the
Mm-hmm.
if you find the mama shouldn't have to step in and tell us and do all of that. Like she can discipline him. That's the whole purpose of the family. That's the whole purpose of the mama and the daddy being there. Like the
We talk
mama
about
should.
broken families too now, but
Okay, so
when you
that's my point.
that's a
That's
little
what I
different.
want to highlight because
Okay.
when you have people listening to this that you have the mother, the father, the
All right.
mama is like, look, I can be soft because daddy discipline. So yeah,
Okay.
I take up for my boy, but my husband, but when we say take up, I'm not talking about not being accountable now. Like that's an issue. So when we talk about the brokenness,
Yeah.
a lack of accountability can
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
place when a mother is married or not. But I think that what you just described and you being able to be soft with your daughter is a balance. Because
Yeah.
somebody, you see what I'm saying? It's a balance that you and your wife are able to maintain. Now, when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
dealing
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
mother, if you're dealing with a mother, because this ain't just because somebody married or with the father don't mean there's a balance in the relationship, right? But if you're
Right.
dealing with a mother that is out of balance into how she has to show up with her child, if the mother is already overcompensating in that, it's a very good chance she's going to be on a defense with everything that comes with her child because this situation brings a lot of I got to protect him or
Right.
her, I got to protect me. So when you come at them, even if the child is wrong, they see it as I got to protect them because I'm already not protected. See, what you just described is I can be soft on my daughter. Your daughter also has her mother there, who women don't have typically have that same experience with their daughters, right? So that's where the balance comes in at. What you're when you say your mother did that for you, she did it because she had to.
Right. Right.
I would challenge and say if your mother and father were together, her parenting may have been a little different.
Oh
I'm not
yeah, 100%.
you get
She
what I'm
wouldn't have
saying?
no.
So
Yeah, 100%.
but I get what you're saying. She held you accountable. I remember growing up, some people mamas always made excuses for them. And guess what? They mamas still making excuses for them now. We in our 40s. On
I think that's the balance, Adelaide.
it yeah.
I think if you as a mom, if especially if you're a single mom, if I could if I had a magic wand, if I pray for anything for a single mom to have, I would have the skill or talent or whatever, the ability to hold their son accountable for a young man. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, like don't you don't gotta overcome hold them accountable because for one, you better at parenting than you think. You way better than what you thinking. And if you the more you if you make an excuse for him, naturally excuses will make manipulators naturally. You're
Absolutely.
almost breeding a manipulator. So
You are.
and if you breed that manipulator, then over at the end of it, he gonna make you feel like a horrible parent anyway.
Absolutely.
So
Because he gonna blame you for
yes,
being there
so
for him like that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So if I could give anything to a mama who raising a son, fight that feeling to want to make them just fight it. I know it's hard. Boy, you gotta fight that thing like you fight. Boy, you gotta beat that thing off you.
Well, I don't
Crying.
think so. You know what? I honestly don't think so, coach.
Don't
I
do it.
honestly think that because I want to go back to my nephew. His mama
He
might have
had a
had,
daddy though.
but not just that. She did hold him accountable though. That's the one thing I could see. She might have went along with him when she found out whatever, or even in the midst, she would hold him accountable. Like it wasn't like a
What
my
part you say
child
you don't
ain't
think
gonna
so though? What part you say you don't think so? Because if she hold him accountable, then she didn't doing. She got the gift
like
I
babe,
won't give her.
huh?
If she hold him accountable, she already got the gift I said I would want to give the woman.
No, no, no. I'm going back to my nephew grown now. I mean,
Okay.
I'm talking about when he was little. I'm saying that's what she did. Like she loved him well, and we would even call it spoil sometime, right? But
Right.
she held him accountable to stuff though.
Perfect. Yeah, she did
You see
good.
what I'm
I'm
saying?
talking
So
about the
that's
people
the
not do that.
difference. That's no, that's what I mean. Like, cause
Okay.
earlier I talked about how she was nice and too soft on him or whatever. but
yeah,
she still did hold him
yeah.
accountable.
That's it.
And
That's it.
he's a wonderful young man
Yeah,
because of that.
yeah, yeah. Hold them
Because he
accountable.
knew his mama got his back, like you said
Yeah,
with your
yeah,
mama, but
yeah.
she held him accountable.
That's the one gift. If that's the one thing. If any single mom that I'm telling you, if you do anything, fight that urge, that feeling that y'all get to not hold them accountable, to give be excuses, to make excuses for them, to you
Hmm.
know fight that. If you can fight that, everything else gonna fall in place. All your mistakes you gonna cover if you
You
do that.
open up a whole nother can of
I'm
worms because
telling you, all your mistakes you gonna cover. Any mistake you make as a mama, if you when you parented a young man, if you can fight the urge to not to make sure you hold him accountable. I don't care if you on drugs, boy. If you do that, you will make up for all that stuff. I'm telling you, that's the main key for a man. That's the main key. If you do that, if you say no matter what I do, no matter boy, I'm gonna hold my boy accountable. I'm not gonna be right there acting like he ain't this. No, you behind mess up. You deserve that. Or something happened and this what happened. You deserve that. That's what happened when you do that. Yeah. I don't care if he try to flip it on you and say, "Well, mama, you." It don't matter. You did them, and your head, you jump off that thing, and your head get bust. That's what you get. That's what happened when you jump on it. When I tell you not to jump, and you jump off that back and you bust it. That's what happened. Now, come on, let's go to the doctor and get him stitched up. But that was supposed to happen. When you jump and hit your head, that's what happened. Make sure he understand.
Consequences and rewards.
Make sure he
Yeah.
understand that growing up. All your other mistakes, I'm telling you now, you will look back and say, boy, I've been a good mama. But if you miss that one there, boy, that's a big miss. That's all I'm trying to say. That's a big, and I watch it in real time with my program. That's a big. People do a lot, all the other stuff a lot. Like, oh, they got this and buy the kids this and got this and they come to every game and they do it. But that one key will have all that stuff null and void. But that's how I feel now about it. But it's hard to
So
get other
so
parents to agree with that now.
so just to put this in perspective, because you've been doing this for a while, how long have you been coaching and seeing this
20
going
years.
on?
20 years coaching and mentoring for 20 years. I
And
got
has this been going on? Have you noticed this since you've been doing it?
more now.
Okay.
More now. It's always been some, but it's more now. Like now is like it's almost like our generation got I'm gonna tell you what I feel. Me and you, we're on the same age. Our generation got some jewels from our elders, older than us, our mama generation. We got some jewels and we use them. But for somehow we didn't pass them down to that whoever that next one under us. I don't know where they get this stuff from, but I like something happened that it ain't passed because boy, they different now, boy. I don't know what happened. I love all our people, boy, but something different than now. Something different. Something different. And I don't know Adelaide, and I ain't no judges, but something different now. Something different. I've been in this thing 3 decades. When you talk about, I started in the early 2000s. Then you got the 2010s. Now I in the 2020 to 20. I done been in this thing through 3 different eras of mamas and kids. I got kids that I mentor now who got kids. So I speaking from straight data. This ain't nothing that I just wake up and say, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about. No. Because you got a lot of people like that. Oh, they won't know it. No, I got the data. I'm telling you, it's different now. Like you said, it been a little bit of that back then, but now, boy, woo, it's at an all time high, boy. And you seeing it with these little fellas out there. You seeing it, them boy. See, boy, them boys shoot you, kill you, and mama stove. Well, not my baby,
Mm-hmm.
not my baby. What you mean? Not my, yeah, your baby. He just took someone's life. Not my, yeah.
Because and a lot of that comes from a lack of accountability, like,
I'm trying to tell
and it
you.
starts young when they have temper tantrums and you don't hold it, you laugh at them and you think it's funny and you think it's cute, or they steal things, or they curse people out, or they, just do things that need to be addressed. I always talk to my kids about consequences and rewards. I remember, being a young mother, I had a chip on my shoulder. So I don't know what happened because I was really that type of mother that my kids had to be respectful. My kids still, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Maybe not that youngest one so much, but he said yes and no. We did get there. I did soften up a little bit with him, but there's still accountability there. And there's a difference when you're not holding kids accountable. But I just think as a mother who has carried a lot of weight and felt really guilty about the decisions that I made as a mother throughout time, I think with every child you can look back and see where maybe you dropped the ball or you could have did something better. And I think that a lot of mothers struggle with the accountability piece when they're also struggling with being accountable to something themselves. I think to your point, it stuck out to me when you say even if you on drugs. Yes, my mom was on drugs when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
That did not minimize my respect for her in the sense of I was not
Let you.
playing with her.
She didn't let
Yes,
you because she was
she
there. I
let
didn't
me.
care what she
She
was
still
doing.
had
Yeah,
accountability. Whatever I got going
yeah,
on ain't got nothing to do
yeah.
with you. Better listen to what I got to tell you to do,
I can
and
smoke this.
we'll
Hey,
deal with.
listen, Addy, I could get high, and I'm gonna tell you behind it when I get home.
Okay,
You did
okay,
what? You disrespect
okay,
the teacher? Okay, but
okay.
I gonna get high, but when I get home, you
Okay. Okay. Don't think I'm gonna forget. And I knew people, parents who was like that too. I
behind to
grew
out.
up with a lot of people who we went through that together for real. Don't get it twisted now.
Crazy.
And so my thing with that is my heart goes, I feel like we're at a reckoning right now. I do in the world, and especially those of us in America. I think that we really got to come to terms with our values, what's important and what's not. And I do think that we live in a very consumer based society where it's like being a good parent is more so about what are you buying your kids? What vacation did you take them on? These little kids don't have no integrity, no character. They don't even really know how to do life without a screen. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it is definite. I appreciate what you said about that, to any of the mothers who might be single and feel like you don't have that balance with your child. And it might even be some fathers who struggle with this, but I don't have the research in front of me right now. But
Mm-hmm.
studies show that children who raise up in two-parent households
Mm-hmm.
and children who raise up with single fathers have the same statistics with who's going to go to jail or not. It's like let's say 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Children raised in a single mother household, the percentage goes up to like 60 or 70.
Mm-hmm.
So the raised up in a two-parent household is very comparable when you talk about how children turn out to a single father raising them. But when a single mother is raising them, that percentage jumps like double, almost triple. Because women ain't wired to do that. We are wired to nurture. And when you put us in these situations where we have to be out of balance in that, a lot of times you're going to get what you're talking about because I'm already carrying the weight of feeling bad that I'm doing this by myself. And and I'm going to be honest, a lot of women, I know I'm generalizing, but there are enough people who could feel what I'm saying. A lot of women will not be honest about how bad they feel about being a single mother. And I can speak about it because I've been a single mama before. So I know what it's like. And I was raised by a single mother. But a lot of women, you wear your insecurities, you wear your insecurities on your sleeves because you're hurting so bad that you're doing this by yourself and the stigma of doing this by yourself and all the things that you had to go through, maybe in that relationship, how you got to this by yourself. But what I'm saying and what coach is saying, and I absolutely agree, the best thing you could do for your children. I don't care if you can't buy them Christmas and birthday gifts. I don't care. Is love them well. Make sure they hear you say you love them. Hug and kiss them as much as you can and hold those babies accountable. Hold them accountable. And not just in bad stuff. See, we talking about discipline. If your child good at drawing and coloring, hold them accountable to that. They need to be doing that. If your child good at a sport and they say they want to do it, hold them accountable to that. If your child might not be an all A student, hold them accountable to doing the best they can. Let me tell you, some of the best doctors I know were never top of their class ever. Some of the best lawyers always come out at the bottom of the class. It's not even about the all A's. It's about holding your children accountable. Yeah, the people at the school might make stuff up, but a lot sometimes they don't. And either way, you need to hold your child accountable because you're teaching your child integrity, you're teaching your child character, you're teaching your child humility, and these are the things that is going to get your child through in this AI world that we are coming up in. You still got to be a human. And like you like I look, I teach my kids, they still gotta look people in the eye when you talking to them. What we doing? You're not looking down at the ground and looking all over. Look at the person you talking to. Accountability. But I teach them that. You know why? Because I want you to respect who you dealing with because that shows the level of respect you have for yourself. Back
Yeah,
to accountability.
that's another thing you're talking about. You know what I noticed with parents, like respecting others is not as high as it used to be 20 years ago. You know,
Correct.
respect, and I'm talking about, you know,
Period. Yeah.
from me, and I'm talking in the world period, but really, I'm going straight to the parents that, and from me mentoring and coaching for 20 years. Like I've had all kind of parents that did all kind of things. You know, parents that did crazy, but respect back in the days was way high. Parents almost now today, and this is a conversation I had with a parent. They more only care that the child respects them.
Mm-hmm.
We back in the days, parents,
Had to respect everybody.
not just us too. You right, not just us, but 20 years ago, mentoring those young men now that I coached that probably on age with my oldest son, their parents used to have been high on them respecting everybody. You right, like not just them. Nowadays, these parents now, long as my son respect me, he don't do that to me. What kind of bull? What? It's
Just a
just
breakdown.
it's
I'm
so
telling you.
different now. But I'm still in this thing, so it's still just so different. I'm like, dang. And then, so when a child, you know, doesn't understand, so I had to explain to a child one time. I said, he said, we had a conversation. And the child was like, no, I wouldn't do that because I respect my mama. Basically, I wouldn't do that to my mama. And I say, listen, the same respect that you wouldn't do that to your mama is the same exact respect you gotta have with your teacher and your coach and any adult, because that's how we were raised. I couldn't give my mama more respect than my neighbor. I couldn't. That same
Mm-mm.
respect. Of course, I love my mama. That's my mama, but respect goes to everybody. Mama tell respect due to a dog. That's what my mom
Okay.
always say. Respect is the minimum. That's where everybody get that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the minimum when you meet a person. Everybody get that. So the same respect. Like I wouldn't curse in front of my mama. I couldn't curse in front of my neighbor. I wouldn't cut my eye at my mama. I couldn't cut my eye at my neighbor. I like it's no. Oh, that's my mama, so I can't cut my eye at her. But see, you ain't nothing but my mama friend, or you ain't nothing but my teacher. No, that's another thing that's different now. I'm just going over what you asked me what's different or what I've noticed with with that, but it comes to accountability.
I was about to say they
I
go
hold
hand
you
in hand.
accountable.
That accountability, respect is a form
Yeah,
of accountability.
yeah. You can't. That's what a lot of these kids are missing. Just the ultimate respect. Like respect is high. It's so high on our list back in the days. Like respect, and that one thing my mama and my auntie and my whole family respect used to get me out so much trouble. Like my mama and my all of them used to know. Like one thing about the Ron boy. He ain't gonna be disrespectful now. He gonna and I don't and something my mama. I wish I'm gonna think about it, but I don't know what exactly she did. But something she did to make me know I can't go out there disrespecting nobody, even when they wrong. I just know like and plenty time I remember adults used to come and tell me your son say this or your son curse or your son, and my aunt still be say who him? You might be talking about my son, Coco, or something. He probably Durrani did that. And they used to stand on that because they had no. That's how I carried, and maybe and I don't have my my aunts them. and adults outside say stuff like, well, he might not have been him. He been somebody. Yeah, he probably been somebody in that crowd, but him and him. But that's because something my mama did, boy. How she read
She raised you with respect
with
though.
no daddy,
But
but she
she
held me
raised you to,
accountable.
and guess what? She respected herself. That was one thing. So you saw that and she respected y'all by holding y'all accountable.
Yeah, boy, I had to get,
That's
I
a
had to
form
get
of
myself.
respect. When you love your
Yeah,
kids, you got to do that. That like that's what makes a good parent a good parent. No good like I heard somebody told me the therapist told them they was concerned about being a good parent. And the therapist said, "Trust me, bad parents are not concerned about if they're good parents or not.
yeah,
That's not a thought running through their head, right? So the fact
yeah.
that you concerned if you a good parent or not, you're a good parent. You get what I'm saying? So
One
but
hundred
to your
percent.
point, I like how you say that. Just no matter what the circumstances, we getting ready to close out this show. But I'm definitely going to be bringing you back because I know that this conversation, when people start to hear it and, they get to hear certain pieces of it, they'll definitely be trying, have feedback and things to say. But we definitely going to keep this conversation going. We're definitely going to continue to talk about this because we're passionate about this. We care about our people. We care about our communities. We're in the community, we in the trenches dealing with people. So this conversation didn't come from some judgment of a post on social media. This is real life living that Coach D is living. And if you want to find out more about his organization, please tell them the website and how they can find you on social media, Coach.
My website is the Concrete Rose Foundation .com or inc.com. And I mean, you can find me on social media. My name is Darryl Coach D Capelton. Capleton spelled Capleton. Darryl Darryl. And then Coach D. Yeah, look me up. Hit me up.
And
I know
check
I'm
him
not.
out.
I know I have some different opinions sometimes, but man, it all come from love, man. Like
Oh
Adelai
yeah.
said, I come,
Oh yeah.
I come in peace now, especially with my women now. I come in
Oh,
peace.
you gonna get the smoke now.
Don't
You
chew me
better
up now.
believe, or
Oh, I already get it.
you
I
gonna
used
get
to
some
that.
smoke. But we need to have these conversations, and we're gonna be having when
I
we do
come
the
in peace.
Heartline Live. We gonna have people who want to come in and talk, and even if somebody want to get on the show with us, we definitely gonna be opening it up for comments and responding to people as the clips come out, and if they have things to say, if there's anything we want to respond to that goes with our topic. I also want y'all to check out West Ashley Junior Wildcats. West Ashley Junior Wildcats. That's the football team that is
Yeah.
a part of the Concrete Rose Foundation Incorporated. So just check Coach out online. I'll make sure and have his links in the description of the show so that you can connect with him. And Coach, we thank you for being here. Send our love to the family. I'm excited about you coming back. We're going to continue to have these types of conversations. Is there anything you want to share before we close out?
Yeah, man. Whoever get to hear this, hopefully, you know, have an open mind and an open heart, and just know that, man. Especially the moms, man. Like you are a good mom, regardless of what you're doing a wonderful job. You can't let these low. I used to been a low boy. You can't let these low boys fool you or make you feel you ain't doing a great job, and you can't let society fool you and make you feel like you're not doing a great job. If you are a mother and you doing what you got to do, you doing a great job regardless. You got that naturally in you. God gave you that. So you don't have to overcompensate like Addie say. You automatically got it. If you gonna overcompensate anything, overcompensate the accountability. If that make any sense. You don't have to overcompensate the love. You naturally got that. They naturally gonna get that just from being in your presence. They naturally gonna get that. They're gonna feel protected. They're gonna feel loved by just saying the word mama making me feel better right now. I'm telling you. Just yeah, you got that naturally without doing anything. You already got that. You don't need to overdo that. That's that there. I promise you. If you get that, then you'll be able to tell a little behind. Get your little nappy head behind my face with no problem. And know that they love you and you love them. Hold them accountable. Teddy behind up sometime too.
Awesome, awesome, Coach. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the conversation. This will not be the last. And I thank you, Heart Tribe, for being here. Remember, this is the Heartline with Adelai Brown. When you heal your heart, you transform your life and you transform the world. We'll be back next time. Have a good one.